Hey everybody. So I wanted to sit here for a moment and talk about something that I heard on YouTube. I've been off of YouTube for a while now and I jump back on once in a while to listen to some of the foolery. And, at the end of the day, YouTube is just entertainment. It should be that for most of us, especially if you are black or whatever you call yourself these days. But a topic that has been trending for 2 weeks now concerning Waka Flocka and his protestation to say he's not black anymore has really caught my attention. And I don't know why. We have so many previous celebrities who don't claim their blackness. We have Raven Simone, and we have Little Bow Wow, and then we have who was the other person said he wasn't black? I can't remember. I should know. Did Kanye West say he wasn't black? I can't remember. Anyway, Waka Flocka is the newest member of this tribe of I'm Not Black. And I wanted just to give my 2 cents for whatever it's worth, little everyday K Marie. So this is how I feel about this. I was trying to, first I did clown him a little bit and say, oh, here we go, another one. Then I thought about it and I said, there's something to this. There's something that makes black people say this over and over and over again. And let me just try to examine and kind of empathize with Waka for a moment and put myself in his shoes to figure out why this would come out at a time like this. At a time where, black men are still being gunned down in the street by police officers, where the incarceration rate is like 10, I think it's 10 times or 8 to 10 times that of any other industrialized country in the world, where black people are being gentrified out of neighborhoods and pushed farther and farther out to the extremities geographically. So many things. You just go online somewhere and we just see the statistics. But overall, it's just not a good look, right, to be black or African American or a descendant of a slave. And so I said, well, maybe what he's trying to do is say maybe he's just trying to say there's so many negative connotations associated with being black that I'm just not going to call myself that anymore. I'm going to be something else so that those connotations don't follow me, so I can just be and just exist. Here's the problem with that. The problem is that Waka then proceeded to name every other ethnicity. Oh, I have some European, some Italian, and Blackfoot, a little bit of Cherokee, and my grandmother. The old Native American grandmother. So, okay. So in that mixture, Waka, and people who think like Waka, who say what Waka says, in that mixture, is there no ancestor of African descent? Even if you don't want to call yourself black or African American. I agree, you're not a Crayola, but that's a designation that has been given to people like us. All right? That's just a designation. And it just so happens that the greater society, and now a significant number of us within our own micro society, have put a negative connotation on being this designation of black or African American. But you chose to name every other ethnicity and every other race other than the one that you look like. Here is the problem with deciding that you're not black. Let's say we all want to say we're not black. I want to say that too. Let me say I'm not black. So let me go stand over here with you and we can both not be black together. And let's let my sisters join and my cousins, some friends. Let's all say we're not black. Here's the problem. It's not the name black that has negative connotation. It's the fact that we exist. It's our being that has negative connotation. And that negative connotation was placed on us. It didn't come from us. It was placed on us. So it doesn't matter what you call yourself because you're still going to be that. That's the problem. That's the problem. And it just seems like so many of us are slowly losing the battle of our minds to this idea that there is no value. And that's our fault as a collective. That's our fault. Every time you say, well, you know how black people are, you know how black women are, you know those black men, oh, black children. So now it's gotten to the point where just being this person, no matter what you decide to call me, I'm just going to say black for ease of reference. But just by act of being black, I'm now pathological. So now walk up, you don't want to be this because you have bought into the idea that being black is pathological, so you're going to call yourself something else. You can't run from what you are. And you have to take up that battle, that banner, and you have to fight with everybody else for the right to exist and be left alone and just be. You can't get away from it. And calling yourself something else is not going to change it. So, the real reason you're being clowned is because you look weak. Your mind was broken. And you have just you've rescinded ownership of a group of people for a group that you don't even know how to define. Like you still don't know what you are. You use the word confused. Well, then just stop being confused. Just be what you are until you're able to define it. And I'm aware there are people, black people who say they're indigenous. I get it. I understand it. You're right. Some of us are indigenous. There were some indigenous black people here before the slaves came. And I totally believe that some of those indigenous black people were fooled and sold to Europe somewhere and sold back to the States. I also believe a significant number of us, the majority of us, were brought over here from Africa. I do. I believe that. But we really are never going to know because we don't have the ability to run our own DNA tests. All the DNA tests are done by random people from in these mysterious laboratories, and we don't know what their agenda is. It could very well be that there is no such thing as a designation of African for people like us. It could be that. I'm just here to tell you that no matter what you call yourself, if enough of us begin to think like you and begin to call ourselves that too, that negative connotation is going to follow. So at some point, you have to fight the connotation, not the name. Names don't mean anything. Fight the connotation of what it means to be black. Don't let someone define you as negative. That's the real battle, Waka, not this calling yourself some Blackfoot, some Cherokee, some European, some Italian. Okay, well, wow, you're going out of your way to name everything except that part of you that also has some African. That's all. That's really why we're looking at you like you're crazy. Anyway, that's my 2 cents in this. For what it's worth, we're never going to get away from it. There's always going to be somebody that just doesn't like who they are because they're called black. I kind of like Yvette Carnell's designation of descendants of slaves. I like that designation. We are, most of us, yeah. And there's some indigenous, I got a grandmother, I got two grandmothers who have Native American ancestry that can be traced. Actually, my grandmother on my mom's side looks straight up Native American. That's what she looks like. Skin coloring, features, build, everything. I take after more of the African looking side on my grandfather's side. We all have those round faces, dark skin, our noses, everything comes from that side. Anyway, that's it. I think what I will do though is take that DNA test and see where, what the laboratory says I belong to. I'm actually going to do 2 or 3 different tests from 2 or 3 different places. And I want to see what those tests say. And I'll do that. And I'll compare all 3 of the tests and we'll see what they say. And here's another thing. I wonder if there's an African DNA test. I'm sorry, there's a DNA test from other countries like Sweden or Africa or Ecuador. Countries that don't have as much of a stake and calling us something that we're not. So I'm going to look into that, and I'll take all those tests. And if I can find a DNA test from a different laboratory in a different country, I'll compare those results to the results that I get here. Stay tuned.